from the central coast of New South Wales, Australia, it's the #1 podcast for the X-Men animated series. This is Generation X-Men with Bender and Brooksy.
Yes, it is. This is Generation X-Men. I'm Ben, and with me as always is Brooksy.
Hey, hey.
Like the name suggests, we are Generation X-Men, and you are too. If you're new to this, what we'll be doing is going through all 5 seasons of X-Men the animated series, one episode at a time, giving you our thoughts, X-Quiz, tally time, and most importantly, having a laugh as well. Now, we're back after an even longer sabbatical with Longshot, the return of Jabba the Hutt if he were an irritating X-Men villain on crystal meth. The writers describe him as being Robin Williams-esque, but I'd say he's that, but not being funny and more irritating. Not as lovable, and just a waste of my time.
And a fair bit less hairy.
Much less hairy. This episode has not aged well, Brooks.
No, it has not.
Inside jokes and the references to 90s, this is not one we can jump back into.
No.
You got to put the effort into research. What do they mean by giant purple dinosaur? And all that other sort of like behind the scenes. It's just trash. I wasn't having fun with this one. Marvel movie news returns. We've got Endgame and Dark Phoenix. We've seen it, and we'll give you our thoughts on it, regardless of how late we are. I think it's very important that we talk about Dark Phoenix because it's very important to the overall X-Men cinematic universe, because this is the final chapter of the Fox X-Men saga.
Yep.
We're going to delve into that into relatively detail when we move on to that. Generation Mailbag returns because our fans haven't forgotten us. Plus, mutant merch later on. I've been on the hunt for action figures and I've got some to add to the Brooksy X-Men collection yet again.
Oh, here we go.
We're cleaning up. Going to break down the episode later, but before we get into that, it's time for X-Quiz.
Pop quiz, Hotshot.
Pop quiz!
Pop quiz, asshole.
Time for a surprise quiz?
Won't be a pop quiz on Wednesday. There's a pop quiz. Pop quiz.
Now, Brooksy, I don't have any X-Quiz.
You don't have any?
Well, when we went through the previous on X-Men book, you read out my X-Quiz. I was like, there's no point in doing that now.
Nah, do it again.
All right. So I have one question there.
Yeah.
How many do you have?
4?
4. Right.
But I'm assuming one of them's going to be the question that you're going to ask.
And it's coming up right now. During a chase scene with Longshot and Jubilee, they pass a garbage truck.
Oh, yeah.
What is the name on it?
Graz's Cleanup.
Graz's Cleanup, that is correct. And in the previously on X-Men book, written by the Lee Walds, it said it was reference to their production company or something like that?
Yes.
All right, hit me with yours.
What is the name of the place Jubilee pulls into in Wolverine's Jeep?
Oh, it was like a Quick Stop?
It was a quick food store, but it was someone's name's quick food store.
Was it Larry's?
It wasn't Larry's.
Oh, I thought I had it there.
It was Daryl.
Daryl. I was going to look at what drinks were available. Is that your next X-Quiz?
No.
Oh, could have had you then.
Across the road from that store, there's another store. You didn't pick that one
I
up?
was not paying attention to that sequence. Is it a baker or a barker?
No, it's not a baker or a barker.
Damn it.
It's Take Me to the Cleaners.
Take me to the cleaners. This is like a laundrette or
Yeah,
something.
as in a cleaners, and it says Take Me to the Cleaners.
It's not a bad name for a laundrette. It's very clever.
Intergalactic Gladiators starts with how many viewers?
Was it like 75%?
It was the percentage ratings.
It was not 75.
It was not 75. I'll give you one more go.
For 45.
Oh, you're close. It's 48%.
I thought it was weird that they measured it in percentages, but I guess it's just the easiest way to do it.
Yeah. My last question is when they're walking in this foresty part and Wolverine decides he's going to destroy this sign.
Yeah.
Did you catch what was written on the sign?
I did, but I wasn't paying attention. I can't remember what it was. Something like Terror World something forest or something. I don't know.
It was a long one. It said, Haunted Forest Mutant Castle, 1 mile. I'd turn back if I were you.
That's pretty funny. But I was going on during a dialogue sequence, so it sort of cancel each other out unless you freeze frame it.
Previously on X-Men.
So previously on X-Men is just remember Mojo. We'll just play most of the last episode.
I wrote down in my notes, I'm irritated already. Straight out of the gate. Previous on X-Men is back, and I'm upset.
You're like, oh, this is the Mojo one. No.
For some reason, I remember a lot about this episode.
You do?
I must have had it taped randomly.
I didn't. This one, yeah, the first Mojo one I remember a lot, but this one not as much.
Right.
And I was happy about that. So previous on X-Men went for 36 seconds.
Oh, we should mention new intro music.
Oh, yeah,
that's
right.
That's the next bit.
That's my next part, yeah.
Yeah.
New starting weirdly fast with clips from episodes. No intros to each person.
Yeah, it's like it's been sped up, so they're obviously trying to save time. Maybe they're thinking at this point in the series, people are sick of the intro, they just want to get to the episode. Not true.
No.
I love that. That intro is classic.
Stop playing with it.
Stop mucking with it. Don't re-edit it and add new sped up weird theme song. It's like, on the records when you're just playing it too high to make them sound like a chipmunk.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. It's just... It's like, wow. Hashtag not my X-Men theme.
Break it down, my folks.
Break it down. Break it down.
Now it's time for a breakdown.
Breakdown. Go ahead, give it to me. Breakdown. Where is she?
So today we are doing episode number 36 from season 5, episode 5, Longshot. The original air date for this one was October 5, 1996. It was written by Steve Melching and David McDermott and directed by Larry Houston.
On you, Larry. I saw on the credits of this one that there was a co-director. Have you got that person's name?
No, I didn't check
down
that.
there as well? Now, let me just look it up.
There was.
I saw it too.
Yes, season 5 there was co-director. Because, this is another one of the season 3 forgetting ones that goes into season 5 because they were trying to save money and all that sort of shit.
Mm. Yeah, it says director Frank Squillis, which is interesting. I wonder if his name ever pops up again. On your Larry and Frank.
So, as we said, the episode starts with that weird new intro. And then we got Jubilee learning to drive in Wolverine's Jeep. And Wolverine is dressed as a cowboy for some reason.
He reminds me of like that oil tycoon out of The Simpsons because he's got that weird sort
little
of
bolo tie.
those pull string things, and he's got the hat, and it just reminds me of that bloke who owns the greyhounds and is always like the cowboy with the guns. Lady, you're all right.
He does look like that.
It was very nice that Wolverine's teaching her manual in his Jeep.
Yeah. And we're back to this dodgy animation again.
Yeah, it's all weird and wobbly. It's not as noticeable as No Mutant is an Island with Cyclops being weird all over the place.
Yeah.
But this one is, looks cheap.
Especially, I always remember old mate Longshot. He's really dark in this one. Like that black blue is a really weird colour.
Yeah, his suit is black with the blue highlight, but it's just really dark even in the daytime. There's also another weird. You remember the low angles and the high angles when Professor X?
Yeah.
It's like he's hovering 6 feet above ground. There's another scene when they're in a rec room. Wolverine's looking down at Jubilee like she's an ant, and she's looking up at him like he's a giant or something. Just couldn't get the angles right.
So Wolverine's teaching Jubilee how to drive, tells her to pull over into the food store. He's definitely going in there for a roadie. Take the edge off. He can't handle this. This bright light shines down on Jubilee from the sky, and Longshot just drops down into the passenger seat of the Jeep upside down.
Mm-hmm.
And Jubilee is immediately in love.
Yes, she's hooked in fast.
And he calls her sweetheart and gives her the old wink flashing eye. She's hooked.
His flashing eye goes off. Like I'm feeling like every time he says something, it just flashes like a full stop on everthing he says.
We should have put it in tally time.
We should have put it in tally time, but I think this is the last time we see him. So
This is it, thank God.
thank Christ for that. What is up with his eye? I don't know what his powers are. I'll look it up while you're breaking it down.
His powers? Oh, yeah. He's got all them stupid powers where he's like...
that weird grab bag of powers.
He's got like the hollow bones and he weighs like nothing and he can tell the future or something and it's all stupid.
He was looking at her coat and said, I see no future for her or something like that.
I remember looking it up for the last episode and going, this is rubbish powers. Who cares? He's from Mojoverse.
Yeah, don't worry about him.
We then get more usual dimension time travel portal sort of thing, glowing yellow ball with lightning, and then these heavy dudes appear from it. Then we see a familiar chest face of Spiral and her long 6 arms.
She's back.
Yeah, the old pusher of buttons. She's back.
The pusher of buttons.
They're here to capture Longshot, but Jubilee jumps in and is unusually effective here with her blast.
She says something stupid at the start. Jubilee, Princess of Pyro.
Princess of Pyrotechnics commands you to release these human.
Ah, dear mate.
I think she's just taking the piss out of Storm.
Oh. Wouldn't that be great if she just started mimicking Storm every time she were around?
But yeah, Spiral's not fooled. She said, she's just a girl. Don't worry about her. It seems to really amp Jubilee's powers up from then.
Yeah, I think Jubilee, she's much like Gladiator. If her mood's down, or in this case, angry, she gets stronger. So she's more like the Hulk.
Yeah, she nails them with the big fireworks blast and gives them a chance to slip away. Spiral's line here, if that rebel scum gets away, I'll cancel you permanently.
Rebel scum, you rebel scum. I like how they're using cancel as a way to kill, instead of saying kill.
Yeah,
Just keeping up with that sort of TV production
lingo.
motif. Yeah, but I'll cancel you permanently.
Yeah, it comes on a few times in this episode.
They'll call back
cancel.
on the old cancel one.
Then the Mr. T looking dude gets a whip out and calls upon his creepy ghost dogs to track down Longshot.
I said a weird troll man in a cape.
I'm a troll, mate. So this is Magog, but he's only referred to as Gog in the episode.
Oh,
and his war wolves.
War wolves, I wrote weird T1000 dogs.
Yes.
Because they're shiny and they can sort of reform after they've been mashed up.
So inside the food store, Wolverine's like, uh-oh, Jubilee!
Yeah. That's right. That reading is not reflective of, I think, the emotion he would be feeling. It leads me to believe that there are a lot of reused dialogue from other episodes.
Yeah,
I think they keep popping up. I'll mention them each time you read them out. But this seemed like a real grab bag of an episode, just really getting whatever you can to put something together.
So one sniff of the Jeep and he smells this Longshot.
Mm-hmm.
Jubilee and Longshot are running very weirdly down this alley. It looks so cheap.
The animation is whack.
Yeah, it's like they're running in the spot and they're just sliding the page down so it makes it look like they're running.
That's how they do it, but the animation's weird. It looks like their legs are like perfectly straight. They look like if they're on stilts or something. Just really, really odd. I also should mention that Wolverine has a very impressive sniff library saved to his head that he can remember what each person smells like.
They've been chased by the war wolves, so they run in front of a garbage truck, and then the war wolves can't avoid it, and they run straight into the truck and get melted into goop.
Yes.
But they just T1000 themselves back together and continue the chase. They then get to the corner. They then corner themselves in an alley, and it all looks bleak and cuts to the ad break.
I think they'll make it out just fine.
But who comes to rescue them? Oh, Wolverine, of course. Pops claws. Bad doggy. No biscuit.
Bad doggy. No biscuit.
That's probably my favourite line.
It's probably the only good line in the entire episode.
Wolverine saving the day again.
So they all work together here to get the upper hand on the wolves. Wolverine's like throwing them around. Longshot's using his bolo. Jubilee's using the fireworks.
I'll mention here that the editing is really weird. It feels like there's a lot of missing shots, or they weren't good enough and they just quickly cut around them. Like there's a scene when Jubilee's about to get attacked by the dog. You see the bolos go around the thing's mouth and then suddenly it's blasted away, but it's too quick. It's like you just see the things wrap around the mouth before it's already being sent against the wall. So I was like, something wrong with that shot. They got rid of it fast.
So Spiral, Gog, and the rest of the goons catch up with Longshot, Jubilee, and Wolverine. Spiral screams, cancel the ball! but they haven't anticipated the strength of these warriors. So they just do the Jimmy and take back off to their dimension. And Spiral's like, this isn't over, Longshot.
Just teleport out.
Wolverine says, Jubilee, are you okay? Longshot, what are you doing here, pretty boy? And he claw draws right in his face.
I was sure his claw draws are getting a high count in this episode, I'll wager. He gets them out all the time.
Wolverine tells him he's got 2 seconds to tell him what's going on.
Wolverine, 2 seconds is enough time to do anything. It's not enough time to take a breath to start the story.
But Longshot can't remember anything.
So it was around this time he decides to, okay, let's take him back to the mansion. The old go-to for when there's a problem that you can't deal with on the spot. Back to the mansion.
That's it. I'm dragging you back to Professor. You mind probe you. And then we go back to the Mojo verse. And Mojo is not happy that they failed to bring back Longshot. Spiral says, if you want him so badly, go get him yourself. Mojo is not happy with this, grabs Spiral and starts to drain all of her powers. She looks like a really old woman.
She gets all shriveled and she's weak. And should mention that Mojo starts to see him, he's just drinking Pepto-Bismol or something.
He is again.
But that pink stuff that they drink, Pepto-Bismol, that's to stop them from puking, right? Or if they have an upset stomach.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, yeah.
I need to try some.
You need to try
I imagine it'd be just like thick strawberry milk or something, just really awful shit.
Yeah, I can't see it tasting really good.
It's designed not to make you puke.
There we go. Major Domo says it could be a good idea to travel to Earth and fight the X-Men again. Mojo just then takes all the credit for the idea. He gives Spiral back her power so they can travel there. And yeah, I'm just trying to get through Mojo as quickly as possible. I don't care about his
let's get through this, mate.
Stupid lines.
Let's pretend we're one of the lesser X-Men podcasts and just breeze through it in like 5 minutes. Except I won't bore you with the details of what I had for breakfast this morning.
I'm just skipping past all of the Mojo lines. I don't want to go through all these stupid lines. You can punch a couple in later.
Guys, this is not us being lazy. This episode just really was hard to watch. I mean, there's no real enjoyment for anything, any of the categories that we like, action, funny, badass, is devoid in this episode.
That's right.
There's nothing going on.
And we know what's coming up. We know there's some good stuff coming. But you just got to get through this.
Yeah, that's right. So, guys, if you're a fan of this episode, I'm sorry, but we're not going to give it the love that you might want us to.
So we're back in the mansion now, and the rec room looks like an Egyptian tomb. Everything's like all yellow, and there's like these big things, like the walkways and everything. It just looks like a tomb. Like, what is going on here?
Or maybe when it got trashed, when Archangel flew through there, they went with a redesign. Maybe let Jubilee design it.
Go with an Egyptian theme.
I imagine Beast would be taking the piss like that. Seeing how we've just been dealing with Apocalypse, I've been looking at a lot of Egyptian architecture. Maybe that's what we'll go with for the rec room.
Who is our guest?
We
He's
saved
one
him
of
from a
Mojo's
bunch of-
cronies, and I've... Beast?
His name is Longshot. He was rescued earlier this evening by Logan and Jubilation from his erstwhile employer, Mojo.
And then Wolverine and Jubilee just start talking over each other.
I think that was a funny little bit.
Yeah. And he just goes,
Pretty boy says that, and then puts the
Beast.
hand up. Beast, what happened?
Beast wasn't even there.
Yeah, I know. It's like they're playing pool, and Beast is suddenly playing pool. Don't you just have an establishing shot?
No,
Let me know who's in the rec room.
That's right. They don't show him at all. And he's just like, shut up, Beast. What's going on? Like, Beast wasn't in the start of the episode. He wasn't there when they started in this rec room. And then all of a sudden, he has all the answers.
So the original people in the rec room were Jubilee, Wolverine, and Rogue.
That's
right?
Rogue. That's
Rogue's
all we
playing
see.
Pool, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose she's playing pool with somebody.
She could be just practicing.
Yeah, there you go.
Wolverine explains that he can't remember why he's here, but he's brought him back so the professor can read his mind. The professor then explains that it's Longshot's decision to allow him to do that or not.
Are you blind? He's on our side.
We don't know that.
But before they can say anything, Jubilee leads him out of the room. So, come on, Longshot, let's get out of here. Why?
Don't go far.
Rogue's like, oh, I'll keep an eye on him. And then she also mentions Jubilee must be sweet on old Longshot.
I could tell.
Yeah, Wolverine could already tell. Jubilee's complained to Longshot about that she's 15 and changed it. Oh, wait, I'm 17. So, yeah, she's 15. Are we going to be okay with this episode?
I'm fine with it because it doesn't go beyond anywhere. I think it reminds me of the when Murtaugh's daughter is crushing on Martin Riggs in Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
So that's all. That's fine in Lethal Weapon. So I'll let it slide in this. Both those characters have mullets, so that's all. That's
So
what
you can see the attraction.
I could see the attraction there. Yeah, early '90s. Yeah, it's all about Mel Gibson and Longshot and mullets.
Mojo then turns up on Earth. He doesn't like the name, decides to call it Terror World.
Mm-hmm.
Back inside the war room, where I guess Longshot just decided, yes, he'll let the professor read his mind. So he just shows up, lays on the table, and they're like, okay, let's read his mind, which is barren, and we'll take the professor some time.
To me, I read that as like, this guy's a dickhead. He's really stupid. He's got no information in his head.
It's just da 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 da.
Hey, da, 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 da. Or like, what is it? A goat sleeping with a fly going around it. That's another one of Homer's thoughts.
So outside of the mansion, Jubilee just runs into Mojo, and he's like some sort of
He's dressed up as a scarecrow.
a big fat scarecrow.
So I don't remember this being here before because it wasn't there before. Just run away or blast it.
Back inside, Longshot's memories are coming back, and he remembers Mojo's genetically mutated slaves rebelled, and he was their leader. But then he was caught by Mojo, and then he had his mind wiped, so Mojo could use him on TV to persuade the rebels to stop fighting.
Oh, we found out a few weeks ago that Shatterstar is from Mojo.
The
Right?
Mojoverse, yeah.
Why is he not in these cameo and in these things?
Because that would make this episode good.
Yeah. All right, let's. I reckon if you remade X-Men the animated series now, if it got another season, it'd be really, really good now.
Of course it would. The rebels broke in and rescued him, and somehow Spiral ended up transporting him to Earth. They've only got one way of transporting a Spiral. She's the bad guy, she's the good guy. She goes out with Longshot, she doesn't go out with Longshot.
And that's weird too, because as they're flying away from Mojo and Spiral, and she's blasting at him, what's the chance that she'd accidentally blast a teleport to Earth spell at him?
Exactly.
That's something you got to build up to. You're not going to accidentally do that. You got a whole library of spells. You're not going to do the cast to Earth spell by accident. It's a bit silly how they got there.
But Beast, he thinks this is fascinating. We then hear from the wall blinking red light. Wolverine says, something's wrong. Better get here quick. Get where, mate? What are you talking about?
Here, right here.
Rogue flies over with Beast and Longshot, and then they discover that like all the bush is like, it has life force drained.
It's all dying,
It's all
yeah.
dead. And this is a trademark of old Mojo.
Mojo kills stuff when he touches them. Kind of like when he grabbed Spiral and sucked all her life force out.
Wolverine's found something else too. Jubilee's raincoat.
We call it a raincoat. Everyone calls it their jacket. But it's yellow, it's shiny, it's a raincoat.
It's a raincoat. Longshot's eye lights up, and he can't read any future for Jubilee from her jacket.
Oh, jeez. Stupid power. Didn't work.
So off to the break we go. Back from the break, I assume Longshot has been filling in the X-Men as to what's been going on in the Mojoverse. But all we hear is Beast's reply that he says, lots changed since we've been there, eh? Yeah. I'm like, well, thanks for not telling us what's going on.
Even the episode doesn't want to talk about it.
This is where Wolverine destroys the sign telling him to turn back.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's an expensive prop, Wolverine.
So I don't really know where they're going, whether it's just there's one trail that they're following, or they're just following the death of the bush, or...
That would make sense. They're just following the decaying forest.
But yeah, apparently there's signs to tell them which way to go that Wolverine's not happy with. Longshot says that they have to trust him, and Wolverine says, my trust is earned, bub, and if anything happens to Jubilee, it will come out of your hide.
Claw draws in his face again. It's already out. That's after he smashed the sign.
That's right. All of a sudden, we hear a Mojo voiceover, and Intergalactic Gladiators starts.
Intergalactic Gladiators. This is when they do the intros to the characters, and I remember this line because it made me laugh as a kid. Beast, the mind of a genius stuck in a big blue gorilla.
Yeah.
That popped me as a kid, and it still sort of made me laugh tonight, which I'm a little bit ashamed of.
Beast, the mind of a genius in the body of a big blue gorilla.
So pretty much he just dumps a big bunch of android gladiators in to fight the X-Men and says whoever gets to the studio first gets a cash prize and a date with Jubilee. And he's also on a floating pirate ship, by the way, above the battle.
Mm-hmm. I wrote down my notes. This reminds me of Jabba the Hutt's barge in Return of the Jedi.
Doesn't it what? Yeah. and like Jubilee's in some sort of friggin' tube. She's not in some carbonite.
Yeah, she's not in carbonite. She's just in like those Phantom Zone things from Superman 2 or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I think the episode would have been better if they went all out and just turned it into Return of the Jedi. You know, Longshot swings on a thing, shoots the cannon at the thing of the ship.
Yeah, because all those little ships, they look similar to those other ones.
those little ones that drop the people into the Sarlacc pit.
Yep.
And then have Longshot choke Mojo out with Jubilee's slave chain.
Yeah.
That'll fix him.
So Rogue tries to fly away and he's laser blasted from the sky. And so it's like, oh yeah, you can't fly.
Yeah.
Mojo's the only one that's allowed to fly.
Mm.
If you don't have a flying pirate ship, you're out.
Well, that makes things... It's pretty smart from Mojo, which I will say. Because if Rogue could fly, the episode would be over pretty quickly.
Yeah. So instead of standing there and fighting or calling the rest of the X-Men out of the mansion, they decide to just run.
You don't think the rest of the X-Men are off on mission in Washington or something like that?
No, they're all sitting in the rec room.
Oh, geez, they've been gone a while.
Wolverine's plan is for Beast and Rogue to draw them away while he and Longshot make a break for the arena.
Not a great plan.
Beast and Rogue run through an archway that reads Camp Cretaceous and immediately surprised that there's dinosaurs everywhere inside. And there's a big purple Barney looking dinosaur.
Yeah.
Kids will love it.
Yeah, that's right. That's what Mojo says when his advisor goes, a big purple lizard. He goes, yeah, kids will love it. I said,
Really?
Come on, guys. Be timeless.
A big purple lizard?
Trust me, kids will love it.
There's a sweet move by Rogue, nails a T-Rex in the face with a tree and exposes like a metal endoskeleton before being attacked by some raptors.
I think there's a line around here where Rogue says, remember me, brother? She says the same thing to Cable in Time Fugitives.
All right.
So I think that's a stock line. And I should also mention when Mojo's looking at the X-Men, the footage on the TV is from Time Fugitives and some of the Phoenix Saga.
Yep. On the other side of the river, Wolverine, still carrying Jubilee's raincoat, realizes that they're being followed. Like, wasn't that the whole thing? They were being chased?
I know, he goes, we're being followed. I said, no shit, you're being followed.
So he doubles back and he finds a communicator hanging in a tree. And then all of a sudden he's just nailed by Quark, the big buff ram-headed guy with an eye patch.
He's been rammed by the pirate goat.
That's
what I've written here. He's just like, he looks like more like a Masters of the Universe sort of character, you know what I mean? He'd be wouldn't be out of place next to Blade and what's his name? Beastmaster or whatever the hell they're
Beastman.
Beastman. I don't know any of them. Sorry, He-Man fans. Maybe when the reboot comes out.
Longshot then saves Wolverine by asking Quark who he would really want to kill. So then Quark decides he's going to throw away his gun, pulls out a knife.
Get nice and
Longshot.
personal.
Yeah.
Which I liked.
So Longshot just avoids these attacks and then he knocks himself out by ramming into a tree.
Ram knocks himself out when Thingo leapfrogs over him and he rams into a tree. So he'll be out for a while or says something stupid like that.
And then this ship shows up to, I guess, retrieve him. And then we cut to Wolverine and Longshot. They're just smiling at each other.
It's like because they found their way in, so they're smiling at each other. Yeah. It's a very broad reaction.
It's like, what? This has never happened in the episode before.
Oh, they're suddenly best mates.
So they take the ship and then they crash it into this city thing, or he calls it the studio or something.
Yeah,
before.
he's sort of summoned in a citadel or something.
Yeah,
where
but I don't get it.
it's like a Protoss Nexus from StarCraft that he's just summoned there to mine ores. I'm like, what is that doing here? What's wrong with your barge?
Yeah. So yeah, the pirate ship's gone, and yeah, there's some buildings now.
Now it's a Nexus.
Wolverine and Longshot try to get into the set, but are confronted by Spiral, who doesn't like being told what to do by Longshot.
Yeah.
Because they used to date.
And now she only has one sword.
Yeah, so she went
could
from
add
200 swords.
Could add 6, now she's got 1.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
She's lost them.
She forgot to pack them.
Wolverine decides he's going to take on the sword-wielding Spiral, while Longshot gets Jubilee out of the dome building part that Jubilee's apparently hidden in. That they reckon was cash, and there was no cash. Where's the cash, boys?
Chop, chop, get the fucking cash. Mate,
Here, there's no cash.
no cash here, right?
Tell him, Robbo.
No cash. I don't think any of our American listeners will know what that is, but that's an Australian classic over here. Said that at work the other night.
Yeah,
It cracked the customer up. No cash here. He goes, ha ha! Oh, that's a good one. I haven't heard that in a while. I say it all the time, bro. 10 points if you know what movie we're referencing. That's an
Neville
Australian one.
fucking Bartos.
Is that you, Neville? You fucking tip rat.
Oh, you fucking...
Come on, boys, get the fucking cash. Good movie. Still not out on Blu-ray. I'm mad
Isn't
at
it? Oh,
Still not out
man.
on Blu-ray. What's going on, guys? Chop, chop. Anyway, where were we? No cash.
Mojo and Gog are at the door with a remote. And then Gog gets his whip out, gets Longshot, which knocks him out.
Yeah, he's got a life-draining whip. That's a popular weapon, that
It
one.
is. But before he can do anything, Rogue drops Beast onto him and flies straight through the closed door.
I thought she was going to go through 3 levels of doors because that seems to be
The bang, bang,
a
bang.
Larry Houston favourite. I thought it was coming because it was that perfect side-on
Shot,
perspective
yep.
that he does. Like, here comes 3 walls. Oh, it's just one. No, just one.
Inside, Jubilee is fighting off some Mojo versus androids.
Mm-hmm.
The first shot of her on the ground here, she's got a jacket on.
Oh, no.
And then they come back out, she hasn't got a jacket on. So
did
it
not.
happens a few times in the episode where they zoom in on Jubilee, she's got a jacket on, zoom back out, no jacket.
I needed that supervising director there.
One of the androids morphs into Rogue and knocks her back out the door. This is where she says that, remember me, brada.
Oh, is that it then?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, she morphs back into Rogue and knocks Rogue back out the door.
I don't even remember that. Mustn't have really been paying attention.
Longshot then pulls the knife that he lifted off Quark and throws it at Mojo and spears the remote out of his hand.
The remote control reminds me in Batman Returns when he gets it off his belt and turns Penguin around to see all the penguins there. My baby! I don't know why, maybe because they're 2 fat guys with a remote control.
Yeah.
It was just in my head that time.
Then we see the rogue fembot android do a fembot shake of the head and explode.
Oh, right. So it was like the Phantom Menace rules. If the control breaks, the androids break.
That's it. Why'd you have to bring that up?
Because it's everywhere. It happens I swear it happens all the time. Like in the first Avengers, the Chitauri, when their base explodes in the sky, then the Chitauri just break down like
They're
the
gone.
androids. Like, oh, come on, you can't seriously be doing Phantom Menace to wrap this movie up. I saw a YouTube video online titled "Why Phantom Menace is actually one of the better Star Wars movies." It's like, I'm half interested to click on that.
Yeah.
But then I just think of Boss, Nag, or whatever. That weird guy. It's like, nah, it's a lie.
The Gungan boss.
Gungan guy. It's like, nah, it's not. It's really not.
So yeah, the fembot explodes and sends Jubilee flying outside straight into the arms of Longshot.
Nah, again.
And then he's like, oh, you all right? She's like, I am now.
Oh, yeah, she's thirsty.
The ratings then start to drop for some... Why are the ratings dropping? People just want to see the X-Men lose, or they didn't want to see a fight, or...
Mate, Mojo said that there was no cameras on the set. So
Okay,
they were
maybe
probably
that
off
was it.
in Crustacean World or whatever the hell it was called. Not Jurassic Park.
Mojo then screams for Spiral to get them out of here. However, she is still busy fighting Wolverine.
She's
Mojo...
getting line or something.
Mojo then turns his scorpion guns on Longshot, blaming him for everything. And he ends up nailing him in the air too. He actually gets it.
That's my mate. Longshot's so useless here. He gets hit so many times.
This is another cut to Jubilee, and she's got her head in her hands, but she's got a jacket on. And then Mojo quotes Bugs Bunny and says, "That's all, folks."
Isn't that it's actually Porky Pig because he has a stutter?
Oh, that's what he's doing now.
Yeah,
It's Porky Pig.
One of the Looney Tunes. That's all, folks.
That's it. Jubilee then comes to the rescue and blasts Mojo's chair thingy.
Yeah, she shorts it out.
Causing it to malfunction.
And rams into a tree backwards.
Longshot then just comes to straight away there and jumps up on top of Mojo, catches the sword that Wolverine's surprisingly knocked out of Spiral's hand, and he's just about to jab Mojo and make this episode pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Spiral teleports him back to the Mojoverse. She then starts to teleport everything back to the Mojoverse. Then she starts calling for a rematch with Wolverine, yelling on about pay-per-views and 50% merchandise, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Longshot asks what can be, has he earned his trust from Wolverine?
Almost. Oh, you're getting there, or something like that.
Then he says a quick goodbye, Jubilee, kisses her on the head, and jumps through the portal. Wolverine then says, "Come on, kid, let's go home." Weren't they just in the backyard? Weren't they just behind the mansion? They're already home.
Let's go inside.
Yeah. Let's go home. We're already home. That was fast.
That was fast. And then it sort of tilts down. You see the rose that Mojo gave her when they were out for a walk when she confessed that she was 15 years old.
It's a long shot. Yeah. And that's the end of that chapter.
Thank Christ for that.
And that's the end of that chapter.
So what'd you think of that, Brooksy?
I didn't enjoy it.
Nah, I wasn't a fan either. What I'd do to make it better, same with the last one, I'd really amp up the action hero thing, you know. Have Longshot, or maybe make the focus about Longshot instead of Mojo. Maybe take Mojo a bit seriously, have him kind of like more running man.
Yeah.
And have like Longshot be like a sort of stereotypical action hero.
Yeah.
Have him with the arms out and the singlet on or whatever, on the one-liners. I'd really lean into that sort of thing, like he's a, like Captain Amazing from Mystery Men. He's just really sort of full of himself, loves what he does. A real Johnny Cage type character. Mm-hmm. That's what I'd like to see maybe out of a Longshot episode, and really lean into the action. Have Shatterstar in there, and more focus on that world rather than them coming and run the whole thing being about ratings and everything. You know, let's just jump into that world. It'd be a good sort of departure from everything happening on Earth. You know, it's like if we spent more time with Lilandra or the Starjammers. But yeah, that's what I'd do to make it better. You got any ways of making it better? Or
No, just turn it off.
Next episode.
Yes. Did you get a favourite part out of this?
Look, I didn't. I don't think I had a favourite part.
I didn't have a favourite part. Favourite part was the end, and that was terrible.
I know my favourite line was "Bad doggy, no biscuit."
That was mine as well.
Anything that Wolverine did, I was happy with, because he's always good, even in the bad episodes. His little showdown with Spiral had potential if the action was good, but in this it was just pretty crap. I think I will say I don't think I had a favourite part, to be honest.
No,
which is a shame, and a first.
Yeah. So how do you rate it?
Well, given how much I didn't like it, and I wasn't having any fun, it had no redeemable qualities, no badass, no funny, no good action, I think I might have to go even lower than the lowest, and I'll give this one a 2 out of 10.
2?
Let's lock in 2, because, I don't watch this one on the reg, and fortunately, I just wasn't feeling it.
No.
Just not feeling this episode.
Yeah, I gave it a 3, and that's my lowest I've given.
I'll make history.
Yeah.
And give it a fucking 2.
No more labs. Okay, bub.
Gene! I believe Emily Dickinson said it best.
fascinating.
All right, it's time for tally time.
Okay, so yeah, there was no Beast quotes, although we did get a fair bit of Beast in the episode. He did punch out 2 fascinatings.
Two fascinatings in an episode.
So he add that to his 8. He's got 10 fascinatings.
He's out bubbing him, right?
He is. We'll get to that in a minute. Claw draws. We had 4 claw draws, although he did have his claws out a lot more in the episode. He didn't have that pop claw. That number's only at 4.
They were out.
So we're at 4 plus the 37 for this season. We're up to 41. Plus the other episode, we're up to 144. The bubs. We got a bub this episode.
Ooh, we did. We sure did.
So 1 more bub gives him 9 bubs. So 9 bubs and 10 fascinatings. If you had told me that at the start of it, I was like, nah, bullshit.
He says bub way more.
Yeah.
Apparently he does not.
And there was no Gene faints because there was no Gene.
That's right. She's off planet.
And sound effects, there was all the Jurassic Park ones.
That is correct. Yeah, you could definitely hear the T-Rex sound effects. Just the big out of control roar. That popped up a fair bit. All right, it's time for Generation Mailbag. What have you got for us today, Brooksy?
We've got another iTunes review.
Outstanding. On iTunes, is it?
It is.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I never check those.
So this one says, "Come back to me." It says, "All right, you sandbagging Aussies, let's get a new cast going. Seriously though, love you guys. Look forward to the next episode." That was from Pagan Youper.
Thanks, Pagan Youper. That's a great one. Short and sweet. Oh, nice. Do you want to do questions here? Because I do have one question that someone asked me. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the question discussion here?
Sure, why not?
The question was, do you guys listen to the competing X-Men animated series podcasts? If so, what are your thoughts on them? And that's probably why I remembered it and said it during the episode. And I threw a bit of shade on one particular podcast, saying they only did a 10-minute review of it. I'll start by saying we did do a little bit of research at the start, see if iTunes had a podcast about X-Men the Animated Series, and I believe there are about 4 or 5 of them.
There is now, yeah.
There is now. I listened to some of them, and I don't think they went into the detail that we wanted or would expect from an X-Men Animated Series podcast. I'll wager some of them, the one that I remember, I can't remember the name of it, there's these two Yanks, and they barely talk about the episode. They didn't have the structure that we do. They don't have a bumper, intro, previous on X-Men, breakdown, tally time, whatever. They more or less talk about their week.
All right.
And what they had for breakfast and what they did, how was work. And I thought, am I listening to an X-Men podcast here or just the adventures of these 2 morons? And I'm like, what's going on? And they go, oh, anyway, we better talk about the episode. And then this happens. And then that's the end of the episode. I said, you're kidding me, right? I listened to a 20-minute intro about you guys going about your business, and you get 5 minutes on the episode. And they're more or less not giving the extended thoughts or what they thought about characters and everything like that, and animation. Forget about any sort of critiques on animation. They're 100% on the story, and whatever happens on screen, it's just gone. So they might as well read books.
Yeah.
Not even comic books about X-Men and talk about that, because they're not talking about what you're seeing and not talking about any animation styles or trademarks from our boy Larry. And I was like, But in short answer to that question, no, I don't regularly listen to episodes of other X-Men Animated Series podcasts. I'd like you guys to have a listen to them. I'll give them a plug and see what you think and what they're doing better or worse than us, and let us know. But what about you, Brooksy?
I know there is a lot, mainly of the comics and all that sort of stuff that they go through. When we first had the idea for this podcast, no one was doing it.
And that's right.
And I wanted to get into it, but it took us forever to get everything all set up because I didn't want to sound terrible at the start.
That's exactly right. We come up with the idea after watching X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Well, I may have told the story before. I'll tell it one more time. We said, oh man, wouldn't it be great? We should do a podcast on the animated series. I think it might have been a day later or on the night, so we should call us Generation X-Men.
Yeah.
Because it works on so many levels, blah, 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 because we're not Generation X, we're Generation X-Men. So, we got the title, that's the hardest part out of the way, and then you want to make sure it was good, so we had to find you did the research to get the zoom and the microphone, because I was originally just going to do it on iPhones because you get a pretty good sound out of that, but it could be very problematic doing it that way. And we sort of came up with the structure as we went.
So back then there wasn't any, and then there was one or maybe two before we started, and I listened to that, and then I listened to 1 or 2 episodes and went, this isn't what we want to do. This is good. This isn't this isn't what we're doing.
Yeah, they're not beating us to the punch. They're doing their own thing.
Because I was a big fan, or I still am, of Four Finger Discount.
Yeah,
which is an Aussie podcast on The Simpsons.
That's right, yeah.
And I really like the way they structure their episodes, and ours is loosely based on that. We've added a few other things in that, and we've gone from them because that's such a really good podcast, and they're very successful.
Yeah. I was listening to that podcast with you. I thought, I like the detail that they're going into here and the behind the scenes and everything. I think that's what would interest me as a listener of podcasts, and I think that's what we're trying to do with this podcast. Just keep it really interesting, get enough information in there, and not make it too much about ourselves. Yeah, because I had toast for breakfast, and I'm not really going to talk in detail about that. You know what I mean? I skipped the gym this morning. I'm not going to waste any time about that when the title is called Generation X-Men. The episode is called Longshot, not Bender's Day. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So, yes, in short, no.
That's right. But yeah, keep those questions coming, guys, and we'll keep answering them, because this is a pretty neat little discussion, this one. I had fun with this.
Shut up and take my money.
All right, it's time for Mutant merch, and the figures are in, Brooksy. I got them here.
Yeah, they're
with
in your bag. You haven't even shown me yet.
Yeah, mate. I've got to have it for a surprise, so I'll get them out.
Do you want me
here.
to close my eyes?
No, you don't have to close your eyes.
And I can guess who it is by touching it.
You wouldn't be able to guess who this guy. This is Death's Head 2. Why don't you check him out? I believe he's in the X-Men series.
Really?
We've also not in the animated series, but he's in the Marvel franchise. We've got Adam Warlock here, is what I'm told that this bloke's name is. I'll keep all the accessories in the plastic bag so we don't lose them. You put this guy up somewhere. But now we're getting to characters that you will recognise. Look at that, mate. Who's that? Your favourite generation?
Was it Sunfire?
Sunfire, mate. And he's got his mask on and everything, and his 2 fireballs. If you want to add them to his fists, we'll have him displayed like that, or we'll keep the accessories in the bag. There's Sunfire. Pick these ones up for bargains, mate. And a character that hasn't got any love in the animated series, but he did appear in Last Stand, is Multiple Man.
Oh, Multiple Man.
He's got different heads. He's got the sock heads, or he's got the no one with the hair on there. So it kind of looks like the guy playing Multiple Man.
Oh, yeah.
But what I want to do with Multiple Man, I've got one at home and I've got one here, is I want to keep buying them so I can have multiple Man.
Yeah, I get
Just
you.
set them up on the X-Men shelf here.
Multiple Man's in the next episode.
Yeah, how good's that? I should have saved him for the next episode. But what I will do, I'll snap on his cool hair without his hood on, and we can put him on display. Because this is one of the coolest figures around, and I heard they only made Multiple Man so they could get a mold for the jacket for Gambit.
Oh,
so
right,
Gambit's going to have the same molded arms and jacket.
Because isn't there a
Multiple
new
Man.
Marvel Legends that's like out now or something?
There's plenty of Marvel Legends waves out, just not in New South Wales or Australia.
Right.
I see. I'm a fan. I've liked so many Facebook groups like Marvel Collectors Australia. It's like, oh look, here's the Beast Wave out in Brisbane. I was like, you motherfuckers! I'm turning Sydney inside out looking for these guys, and they're not anywhere. So I've had to buy them either by a Facebook Market or just wherever I can at a decent price. But they're just too expensive otherwise, because it's $40 plus shipping, and I won't be able to get them because that's just too expensive, mate. To get an entire wave would probably put me out $240.
You'd be better off buying that bloody expensive X-Men animated series wave. Larry's got all the time.
Oh, yeah, these are the proper statues. I prefer, like, the action figures that you can pose around and everything. But this has been a pretty good haul over these last couple of weeks where we haven't been doing the podcast. And, I got a Toy Biz beast at home, but he's very fragile, so I'll keep him at home, and I'll get the Hasbro Beast, which is these guys, the new toy company that are handling the Marvel Legends action figures.
Right.
But yeah, really digging all these figures, and mate, as soon as you get that glass display, they'll be looking even better.
As soon as they get more room, for sure.
Just need to condense all those books, mate. Get them into the panda room. So we get these X-Men figures looking good. You'll have to hang on to this bag, and this is where you can put all the leftover stuff.
Right, no worries. Put all the legs from Sasquatch in here.
Yeah, the same right legs. But we got the full Sasquatch. So the action figure room's looking pretty cool. The action figure shelf's looking badass now, man. I'm loving it. Super crowded, super cool poses, and multiple, man. And
I'll have to take a photo and put it on the Instagram.
Oh, mate, it's looking good. I love looking at my action figures. So yeah, that's Mutant merch. I still need to get a whole bunch of X-Men shirts because I haven't got any. I'm too fat at the moment. I want to squeeze into a size S. But as soon as I get that cardio up, I'll start getting some more Mutant merch shirts.
Right, yeah.
All right, let's take it home. Find our podcast on iTunes, Podcast Addict, Pocket Casters, Stitcher, and YouTube. Subscribe, rate us, and give us a review. Like and share our page on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Gen X-Men Pod for Meme Monday, Marvel movie news, and all things X-Men. Or you can body slide into our Facebook DMs or contact us by email. GenerationXmenPodcast@gmail.com. That's where you send us in questions for Q&A. Anything Marvel or X-Men related you'd like to hear us bang on for a minute or two, send them in, and we'd love to discuss them. So what's up for us next time, Brooks?
The next episode is script number 37 from Season 3, Episode 15, Cold Comfort.
Cold Comfort, that's X-Force.
It is.
Multiple, man, like what we're doing today.
Iceman, baby.
I should have saved it. There's a really cool retro Iceman Marvel Legends wave that just came out. I've got to find him. Got to get him.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this sounds like a really good episode. They'll wash us clean from this Longshot one.
Yeah.
All right, that's it from us here at Generation X-Men. Wherever you are in the world, thanks for listening, and we hope you had a decent shot of X-Men nostalgia. Next time, we've got Cold Comfort with Breakdown, Tally Time, Claw Draw, Mutant merch, and maybe Marvel movie news. Like the Terminator, we'll be back, and we look forward to your company then. Thanks for hosting, Brooksy.
No worries, Bender. Take it easy, mate.
Hasta la vista.
See ya.